feeling where you allow your kids some screen time and when it's over, they've got a toot? You may not even recognize them as the sweet child they were minutes before. For better or for worse, technology is not going anywhere. So how can we integrate it into our lives in a healthy way? Welcome to Worldly Families. I'm Justine Janae. Traveling to over 40 countries and living abroad has shown me that the mainstream American way of doing things is not always the best. I'm all about teaching you new ways of being and doing so you can live and parent more intentionally and joyfully. If you like my style, please subscribe and click the bell to be notified every time I release a new video. In this video, I'll be diving into some practical tips for dealing with screens in the attention economy. This video is not as much about the problem. For that, watch The Social Dilemma on Netflix. By now, I think we all know how bad screens and in particular social media are for our kids. Okay, I'll throw in one little stat from Common Sense Media. Over the past 30 years in the US, empathy in children has decreased 40% and narcissism, or I'm better than you thinking, has increased by 58%. There's a particular spike in the wrong direction since 2000 when social media made its grand debut. Today we're surrounded by technology. The pandemic made screens even more prevalent and necessary. Our daughter Autumn was in a Waldorf school when COVID hit. Waldorf is heavily based on developmental psychology and they don't allow any screens until 6th grade. But when COVID hit, even Waldorf had to find ways to adapt using technology. Here are some practical tips to help you manage technology use in your household. Tip 1. Model digital minimalism. It is a myth that parenting is about the children. Parenting is about the parents. 66% of American kids say their parents are the ones who are too glued to their screens. They want us to put the phone down and play with them. Babies especially experience love through eye contact. When you're looking at your phone instead of your sweet little one, in a way you're giving your love to something else. Kids learn what they live. If you're constantly on your devices, as soon as you allow them to have one, they'll be glued to it too. If your home life is about connection and creativity and unstructured play and exploring in nature together, then that's what your kids will want to do. It's what they'll value. Saying one thing and doing another just doesn't work. So check yourself. How is your device usage? If you need some help in this area, Newport at Georgetown has been doing incredible work on the subject. I've linked to his book, Digital Minimalism, and information about his 30-day digital declutter challenge in the description below. In our family, we do our best to leave all our devices in the laundry room, out of sight and out of touch, so we can't hear them calling to us from our back pocket. Look at me, I have notifications, you must hear them. Tip 2. Implement a digital detox day. In our family, we do a Sunday family fun day where we get out in what we call Nachurch to connect with the earth and with each other. Sundays are a screen-free day. When we're being really good about it, from the time we wake up until the time we go to sleep, we don't even turn on a screen. I dusted off an old camera that has zero connectivity in order to record the most precious moments. But in general, we try to limit even the picture taking and focus on being present instead. In fact, studies have shown that you remember events better if your brain knows you don't have a record of it. So take a mental snapshot of those beautiful moments with your family and know that you'll actually be happier if you don't stop to put it on Instagram. Am I perfect at this? No. Once a month, I organize Worldly Families meetups in Austin, sometimes on Sundays, and I have to be on my device. Every once in a while, I forget, or a social media addiction just kicks in and I slip up. That's okay. As long as your whole family is bought in, you can support each other in recommitting every time you let the gram get the best of you. Our devices are neurologically addicting. Make your family your support group. Tip 3. Talk with your kids about the effects of screen time. It's our job to teach our kids how to be self-sufficient, independent adults. If we just ban them from screens, they'll likely rebel and sneak it. If we just limit the amount of time they get without them understanding why, they won't learn to self-regulate. Instead, have developmentally appropriate conversations with your kids about technology. Teach them to understand what's happening to their body, how they're going to feel and to think. Help them know it will be hard to stop. Help them, empower them, and enable them to control their own tech use. To the best of your ability, don't give them hard and fast rules. Give them a framework to help them make decisions for themselves. For example, we limit Autumn's screen time to Saturdays when she gets to watch Saturday morning cartoons on PBS, and we all watch a family movie together in the afternoon. If she starts acting grumpy afterwards, we help her see the link between screen time and how she's feeling. We also do this for all other inputs: sleep, food, exercise, etc. Tip 4. Collectively set boundaries around screen time. Common Sense Media has found that the average U.S. American child between ages 8 and 17 spends 7.5 hours per day on screens. I think we can all agree that that's too much. So what is the right amount, and who should determine that? Enroll your kids in that conversation. Once they understand the way screen time makes them feel and act, ask them how much time they'd like to spend on screens per day or per week. They might surprise you with very reasonable answers. In the same conversation, do the same for yourself. The whole family can then practice time management and self-management together. Sometimes parents use screens as a babysitter when it's convenient for them. They want to get something done, but then they take screens away as soon as they want their kids to do something. This is very inconsistent and sends mixed messages. Also, taking away screen time as a punishment can lead to rebellion and the forbidden fruit effect. It may help you change behavior in the short term, but this Pavlovian style of parenting, giving and taking away privileges, only works for a few months and ultimately takes away your kids' intrinsic motivation to behave. Making explicit boundaries together in the spirit of doing what's healthy for everyone in the family will help you stay consistent as parents, and it'll help the kids be bought into the reasoning behind why you're limiting screen time. Tip 5. Be present to what your kids are doing on their devices. Not all tech is bad. Sometimes kids and teens are actually being very productive with their devices. There's a big difference between Microsoft Word and Instagram, right? Have a pulse on what your kids are doing online. Don't use the excuse that you're too old or out of touch to know what TikTok is. Learn. Watch what they're watching so you can talk about it. One family movie day, we watched Brave by Pixar. It was entertaining and had a great message about girls' empowerment. But I didn't like the way they depicted the stereotypical sweet but bumbling idiot dad and the utterly competent but anal retentive mom. So after the movie, we talked about what we liked and didn't like. We talked about how in our family, daddy is very competent and mommy is fun and playful, brainstorming specific examples. By individuating what's depicted on the screen versus what we experience in our own lives, it helps the kids see that the media doesn't always reflect what's true and gives them a chance to practice critical thinking, a crucial skill in a world where the line between fact and opinion is increasingly blurred. If this video inspires you to change one thing and one thing only, I hope it's to minimize your own device usage. What you model as parents will have a lasting positive ripple effect throughout the whole family. That is the 20% of the effort that will result in 80% of the outcome. Check out Cal Newport's work on digital minimalism, linked below, and get your own digital addiction under control. Your kids will thank you.